So tutorial 2 objectives are something like this. It gives a recap on coordinate systems in 2D and 3D. Then it will focus on linear transformations. It will give stress on rotation and translation in coordinate frames, and finally how these transformations are important in drone operations. Okay, so in the last tutorial also we have seen that in a 2D position, when it's a 2D coordinate system, then a point P is represented by Px and Py, Px and Py, and when we represent it in terms of vectors, then this becomes the vector which has some coordinate x and y, where x is equal to Px, y is equal to Py. Fine. This gives the coordinates relative to the axis directions x and y. Then there is an offset from position 0 where the axis cross called origin. This is the origin. So the point or the vector is represented as Px and Py. When it comes to a 3D coordinate system, here it's 3D, then the position P is represented by a 3-element vector which will have 3 elements like Px, Py and Pz as x axis coordinates, y axis coordinates and z axis coordinates. Okay, now the coordinates in 2D and 3D are given like this: Px, Py. We can put it like x1, y1, x2, y2 in different forms. Each point P lies on a plane defined by the horizontal axis x and the vertical axis y. So when we talk about the distance between 2 points in a particular frame, say the first point is x1, y1, the second point is x2, y2. So this is represented by one vector, this is represented by another vector, but what is the distance between these two particular points? It is given by this. It is a +2 coordinate geometry, so I am not giving much time on this. The distance formula, when it comes to 3D, we have one additional time according to the z-axis. Okay, now comes the most important topic of this particular tutorial, that is linear transformation. What is linear transformation? It is a function that maps vectors from one vector space to another while preserving the vector addition and scalar multiplication. So this is very important. If the vector addition, the property of vector addition and scalar multiplication are not obeyed by the particular transformation, then it cannot be a linear transformation. So a function t, which will actually give the transformation, is represented like this. This function t is a linear transformation if the condition on additivity is satisfied, then the condition on homogeneity is also satisfied. Not only that, we need one more condition. A linear transformation just maps the origin to itself. So this origin, if the vector in a coordinate frame, what is the origin? The origin can be represented by a 0 vector. So any linear transformation of that particular 0 vector should result in the same origin. So the origin should not shift. So if there is a linear transformation, the origin must map the origin to itself. Okay. What is the key idea? The linear transformations preserve the structure of the vector operations. So that is very important. It means that the shape, the size will not change. There will not be any nonlinear effects introduced into the system. Okay. When we talk about the linear transformation in a matrix representation, it can be represented as this. Say there is a vector x. Now, when this particular vector x is multiplied by a matrix, then it gets changed to another vector. So when x is multiplied by a vector a, then we can see that it will get changed to another vector y. What will be y? What will be the properties of y? Whether the y will be the same as x, whether their direction will be same, magnitude will be same, and whatever questions might come from this particular topic, everything depends on the structure of A. How we are choosing the structure of A defines what kind of linear transformation it will be, and then what will be the outcoming vector y. So as an example, you can see that a vector is x and y in a coordinate frame. That means this particular vector, say vector v, when it's projected on x and y axis, we have coordinates small x and small y like this. Now if we attempt one linear transformation through this particular matrix A, then the resulting outcoming vector y will be equal to A into, that means the matrix multiplication of this particular vector x, right? So if we do that, then you can see that the outcoming vector y becomes 2x and 3y. That means in the case of y, the x component of the x vector is stretched by 2 units and that y vector is stretched by 3 units. So when we have the vector x, y, if the x component is stretched by 2 units and y stretched by 3 units, finally we get this outcoming vector. So a linear transformation is one that can be represented as a matrix operation y equal to ax. The structure or the property of A defines how the outcoming vector will be related to the original vector x. Okay. A is a kind of n cross n matrix when x belongs to an n-dimensional space and y belongs to an m-dimensional space. In particular, when it's a 2D operation, then the vector, which can be represented as a vector x, and there is the outcoming vector, that is another vector y, we can show the linear transformation like this, where the transformation function t is actually a matrix. Right? Now when there is a linear transformation through a matrix operation or matrix multiplication, then we multiply the original vector x with the transformation matrix A and we get the outgoing vector. Okay, in 3D what happens? In 3D the vectors will have 3 elements. X vector will have 3 elements, y vector will also have 3 elements, and accordingly the matrix through which the transformation is being done becomes a 3 cross 3 matrix, and we get the y vector like this. So this is the y vector, this is A, this particular vector is x, and finally we get y. Now we are giving on comments that rotation is a linear transformation while translation is an affine transformation. So there are 2 important linear transformations which will be very much useful in the course of drone systems and control. One concept or linear transformation is the rotation, and another thing is translation. So when it's a vector rotation in 2D frame, to rotate a vector in 2D by an angle theta in a counterclockwise direction. So the vector was initially here, which is say x hat, not x hat, it is the vector x. When we want to rotate the vector by an angle theta, then okay, let's put it as v, which has coordinates as x and y. Then when it is rotated, then it becomes cos theta minus sin theta cos theta as the linear transformation matrix. So this is A. This acts as the rotation of the vector in a counterclockwise direction. What is the vector? The original vector is v, and once we do the transformation we get another vector y, which is the transformation of this. Okay, this satisfies both additivity and scalar multiplication. I am keeping it for the students, they can check it. The origin stays fixed we can see clearly from here, if the original vector is 0 0 and we multiply that original vector, that means origin, by this particular A, then it comes as the same origin. So the origin stays fixed. Hence we can say that the linear transformation is being performed by using a rotation matrix. So this matrix A is called a rotation matrix, which helps in rotating the original vector. So we can conclude that rotation is a linear transformation. Okay. Now we'll perform a rotation in 2D frame. We'll see that how this particular rotation matrix is coming. So you can see in the right hand side, the original figure was this particular x and y axis with a point P. This point can be represented as a vector also, that you have seen. Now we rotate this particular vector. This is the vector P in the original figure. We rotate it by an angle theta. Now the highlighted axis which you can see is the rotated axis. So the point is rotated and accordingly we get a new axis, x bar, y bar. Okay. Initially the coordinates of point P was px and py here, right? So this point is py and this is px. Now when we rotate this entire system with an angle theta, then what happens? Then the new vector is here, right? We can check from this particular figure and this one that when the new vector or the point P hat is projected on the new axis, then this particular term becomes the x coordinate in the transformed coordinate system, and this particular point becomes the y coordinate, which is shown here. So the x coordinate of the transformed point P hat in the transformed frame becomes px cos theta and px sin theta, that you can verify. When it comes to y hat, that means the y coordinate of the point P hat, it comes something like this. So when these two vectors px cos theta and px sin theta from here and minus py sin theta, py cos theta from here, we take into account, then the new vector is something like this, which we get p hat, and we can see that the rotation matrix in 2D becomes cos theta minus sin theta, cos theta. For brevity, in many textbooks or research papers, this cos theta is represented as c theta, sin theta is represented as s theta. Yes. So when we capture the rotation in 2D frame, the rotation matrix becomes of this particular format. Now comes vector translation in 2D. In general, we will be showing first that what is the representation. So translation shifts a vector by adding another vector, right? Now if a vector v is given as x and y, when we translate it, it will be something like this. There will be a linear transformation and then will be one added term. That's why when this adding another vector thing happens, then it doesn't remain a linear transformation, because you can check that because of adding this particular vector, the condition that origin is always mapped to itself doesn't happen. So in this particular case, it doesn't happen. Origin gets shifted or translated by the same amount of vector, by the same adding the same vector. So in this way, the translation is not a linear transformation, but it is one affine transformation. Okay. You can see in this particular figure that there is one vector or one, if you see it from a body or rigid body in a coordinate frame where it's showing in 2D, when we translate it from one position to another, then from here the body comes to another position. So this is one example of translation in 2D frame. When it comes to rigid body translation